I'm going to do something a little different today. I want to talk about condos, condo fees, and condo terminations. After the collapse of the Champlain Towers in South Florida in 2021, the state revised its rules concerning inspections of older condos. So if you currently own a condo or you're thinking about buying a condo, you're going to want to keep watching this. Condo costs and condo terminations are going to be an issue. I want to begin this by saying I am not an attorney. I don't want to be one. My comments here are to give you a basic understanding of what's coming up. It's just very general information about condos and condos in Florida. I want to give you an idea of what's coming your way if you're looking to buy one or if you own one already. If you watch this and you get done watching it and you want some more details, please call a qualified attorney. There, my disclosure is over. My disclosure is over with. If you've ever heard of the tragedy down at Surfside, let me catch you up. I believe it was the summer of 2021, an 8-story condominium building in Surfside. It's in South Florida down near Miami, which is basically where all the condo phenomenon began. Well, that building, it pretty much collapsed right in the middle of the night, killing close to, I think it was like 100 people. It was one of 2 condominium towers that were called Champlain Towers. The state and the feds both investigated and found pretty much the same conclusion. The condo association had never had an inspection. It had just been not maintaining the building by getting regular inspections done. And they really didn't have to. Prior to that collapse, condo associations in Florida were pretty much not under any obligation to have the building inspected by a professional engineer, except in Miami-Dade and the Broward counties. And really, they just required it every 40 years. So instead of paying for an inspection and, fixing things as they went along, the members of the association, the condo association, the board members, decided to kick the can down the road. Not really a big problem for, 15, 20 years. Over the years, board members change. People sell their condos, move into a retirement community, die. It is Miami. It used to be called God's waiting room. Now think about it. If in 2012, when that tower was 30 years old, had the board gotten an inspection performed, what would they have found? Well, there was about, $10 million worth of repairs to be done. That means the board would have had to assess the condo owners a huge amount of money to cover that $10 million bill. Well, guess who's not only a condo owner, but is on the board? Yeah, that means the board member would be, giving a special assessment of, $100,000 to themselves. Not something they really want to do. So over the years, and we're talking decades, subsequent board members decided to, let the next generation of residents deal with the problems. Well, that all came to a close with the collapse in 2022, which killed, like I thought, was really close to 100 people. After the state got done with their inquiry, legislation was passed to help prevent more buildings from collapsing, which is causing issues for condo owners now, big issues, mostly involving money. The law passed basically says that the condo associations now have to get an inspection done when the building is 30 years old, and they have to get an inspection every 10 years after that. That was supposed to be done by a qualified engineer by the end of 2023. However, with about, 2 million people living in condos across the state, that was pretty much an impossible date to maintain. So early this year, some changes were made to that law, one of which allowed for inspections to be completed by the end of 2024. That inspection is to include what's called the SIRS, a Structural Integrity Reserve Study, which, as you might expect, includes primary structural systems. Associations can no longer push off that inspection just because they're afraid of the results. And another major issue is the condo associations, as a result of that inspection, have to get the repairs done. The association is required to fund for those repairs in reserves. They can't vote anymore just to waive or partially fund the reserves beginning for any budgets beginning in the year of January 2025. And who gets to fund those reserves? Exactly, the condo owners. Condo owners are starting to get hit with massive increases in condo fees. Massive, like in the thousands of dollars a month increase. I guess if you're a millionaire, you may not like it, but you can and probably will pay for it. Besides, if you're a millionaire, you probably didn't move into a 30-year-old building. You probably went into something that looks more like this. What we're talking about here are older condos. Most of those are going to be in the Miami area. That's where the condos started back in the 50s and 60s. However, there are some here in the Tampa Bay area and pretty much all over the coast. Most of them are on the beaches. So what about those people who retired from Michigan, moved to Florida, bought in the condo lifestyle, and are on a fixed income? I'm sure they've seen their condo fees go up over the years. I mean, just about everything else has. But what happens just next year or so when those fees go from $250 a year to $1,300 or $1,500 or $1,800 a month? My guess is a good portion of those 2 million people who live in a condo in Florida are not going to be able to pay it. If they can't pay it, they're going to have to sell or let it go into foreclosure. Either way, there's probably going to be a huge number of condos coming on the market over the next 2 or 3 years. What's that going to do to the prices? There are 30 and 40-year-old buildings setting up some really prime real estate all over the state. Some of those buildings are going to be way too expensive to repair. In my opinion, what you're going to see is developers going into the HOA of these older buildings and offer to buy out the building. It's called a condo termination. If there are a sufficient number of owners in the building that decide to sell, the HOA is terminated. Each condo owner gets bought out and the building is probably going to be torn down. Usually when this happens, the condo owners get paid a premium for what their unit would have gotten if you just sold it like to a real estate agent out on the open market. That developer can do that because they're going to charge a whole lot more for that new condo in the new building than what they paid you for yours. Now, there are a couple ways to skin that cat, but the results are going to be the same. And it's pretty much a best scenario for everyone involved. Their option is to sell the condo individually along with thousands of other condos going on the market. That's really going to be hard to do, especially with that many people putting it out there. If you're thinking about you can pick up a waterfront condo pretty cheap, better slow down a little bit. Sure, the purchase price may be great, but you had better get financials and have them reviewed by someone who actually knows what they're talking about. If they aren't funding repairs now, they're going to have to sometime over the next year or so. That HOA fee that's $250 a month right now could easily get into the thousands of dollars a month or more. You're going to be on hook for whatever that is, plus any special assessments that come along the way. Yeah, the seller's supposed to disclose that out to you when they make the deal. That said, condo fees have become a very touchy subject in the condo world. You need to do your own research before you buy. I hope this helped you out a little bit. Condos are not that bad. There's a good and there's bad. Like anything else, you got to do a little bit of research. If you have any questions or comments, jot them down. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.